when we release the idea of expectations for people, like, we expect him to be a father. Well, what does that mean? I don't know, whatever you've seen on TV or read in books or heard about. He's a human being who is struggling, and we all are human beings who are working through our own challenges. So we just have to, it's like I say it all the time, meet yourself where you're at, but also have the grace to meet others where they're at. There's no place that he's supposed to be on this not so linear learning journey.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Authentic Conversation. How are we? Hello, Susan. Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning, Amarellas. Hello, Amarellas. I don't know. It's morning. Here it's like not even sunrise morning. So
We do try to make authentic conversation where there's no time zone, but sometimes we are humans. And I need to say good morning because I feel like it's so rude to talk to people without saying that.
good day.
Good day.
Good day. Good day. Oh, it's going to be a good day.
It's going to be a good day.
It is. You know why? You're in charge of the kind of day it is, right? So from the very moment you start to connect with your consciousness in the morning, like you get to set the tone for the day, and whatever tone you set, everything follows, mind, body, spirit. It's like the interwoven, and it's so funny because it's like even unspoken. You don't even have to say it out loud. You wake up feeling doom and gloom, everything you notice is going to be related to doom and gloom. You wake up and you say, I woke up, gratitude for waking up. I got a fresh new start. Everything that happened before now is in the past. And I'm going to optimize today. I'm going to make the best I can of everything that I'm handed today. If it's lemons, I'll make lemonade.
Yeah. And the stories we tell ourselves, very careful about the stories you're telling yourself, because you start making these creations of stories. And then you realize when you hear the other version of the other person, how different it sounds or what happened to them. And then all of a sudden you're like, half of that I created.
Yes, that was just our conversation recently. Why are you making up stories about that? Why do you need to have a story behind that? Maybe there is no story behind that. Only if you add one. Yeah.
Because you want to be, well, for myself, I'm very much of a people pleaser. So when you want to make everybody happy and you want to be in everything in the, so like I told you, like, I'm like, okay, wait, I'm already aware of my patterns, right? Because awareness of your patterns, and it's like, you're not being the superhero. If you can do something, you're going to do it. And if you can't, no is the answer.
Right. And here's the thing. I just read something, love, hate social media, whatever. We are social media, love, hate social media, whatever. But it says that when you come to the realization that not everyone is going to like you, not because of who you are, but because of who they are and what they have going on, not everyone is going to like you. So you don't have to create stories about why people should or shouldn't like you. You just have to move forward as you. You have to trust yourself enough to know that you are more than enough. Otherwise, we start to create stories about what people are thinking and how we're hurting other people, or how we're impacting the lives of other people, or how we can help other people. And if you just continue along in your natural, kind, giving sense of who you really are, then nothing needs to be forced or created or made up.
Right. Because the alignment, it happens organically.
Because
when it comes so natural and you're just like, wait, that was too easy. Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, where, what, when, why. So one of the things that I want us to talk about, this is amazing book, and I don't know, Susan, I'm gonna ask you right now how you feel about it, but the four agreements, because a couple of things have been happening in my pattern that feels like I keep coming back to this book with the four
Yeah.
agreements.
You could read that book over that's the classicness of that book. You could read it over and over and over and over and over again. And where you are in your evolutionary state, you find or hear something new or different, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just opened it up the other day just to refresh myself. And I was going to go to the part of making assumptions,
Yes.
and then I ended up in the back part of the book. So the couple of pages that I read in the back, which I completely forgot, about freedom.
Yes, freedom, liberation from our limiting selves. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can live in our own world of limitations, or we can understand that the universe is a really big place. Let's talk about those pictures, right? From whatever the telescope is that, of these, these just amazing images of really how small we are. Pay attention to that, right? Like the world, our world, and then the universe, and then multiple universes, right? And we get caught up in the minutia, like, yeah. Does it
Yeah,
really
I
matter
mean,
if that person thinks a certain way about you?
but we were trained for that.
Programmed.
We were programmed. So the programming, right? The programming of parenting, the programming of being the child, the programming of being the wife, or the programming of being the husband, the
The daughter.
relationships that you have, the daughter, right? So all these programmings, and when we come to start to look at things about our inner selves and our answer and why we are here on this earth in the teachings that we're either gathering or teaching others, in that journey you start realizing that there is a programming, and is to keep us down. And when are we free, and how do we free ourselves?
Yes.
And when I say this, guys, for myself, um the reconnection and reunion of my father, there's still not, yeah, we swept things under the rug.
Made
That's
nice.
the
Made nice.
but that was my understanding when I went through with my mentor, my spiritual guide, who was like, hey, don't,
Step one.
step one, but don't stop. It's okay to ask for forgiveness, and it's okay for that inner child who's angry, who wants to hear from him directly. I'm sorry, because he came in and he was very like, let's sweep everything on the rug. The past is the past. Let's not focus on the past. And it's okay to want to say, no, I really need you, but that will happen because
Yes.
this already happened when I thought it was never going to happen, when I thought I'm never going to even have the space in my heart to allow this conversation or to be in the same room with this person.
And again, we also have to remember that, people are doing the best they can based on their own programming,
Right.
and it's like, many years of stories, that in your own stories. So the freedom or the liberation, is an inner process. Everything is an inner process. We just have this outer experience so that we can better understand our inner processes, so we can get better at being ourselves, right? The most authentic version of ourselves. We need to explore our universe. You have a universe, an inner universe, right? It's your universe. um and you may not ever get that from him, because he may not ever be capable of giving that. But here's where we tie back to expectations and your own personal freedom. You ask for it, you don't get it, you don't get disappointed, because it just shows you exactly where he is in his journey. So you don't attach your freedom to his, to him explaining himself or giving you what you need, because some people just aren't capable. But
Right.
your
And
your
they will, and sometimes the apology goes to somebody else, or the discoveries of the stories of talking about, like, this is a person who also went through their own thing, right? He was 17, didn't know nothing about life. And this is the hand, the cards were dealt for him. And now with age, he's realizing, like, how do I, but I want to, the healing that I'm doing is not just for myself, it's for others, whether they're in my world or here.
it's for
And that's
future
also,
generations.
and those that are here too, like, when one of us heal, we're also healing our world, our friends who are in pain also, or my brothers who are still not there where I am. And I completely understand them because I was there once.
Well,
And and
you have to allow them to be where
oh
they
yeah,
are. Yeah.
and I want to give them and send them love and keep healing for them, because it
Yeah.
does work, because we are connected as one, as we've talked about, right? So
Yeah.
one of us having the freedom to break the chains and to say, you're not going to become part of my energy. I'm allowing you to be here, but you're no longer in control of my happiness.
Yes, I'm not attaching any outcomes to this conversation or to your appearance or reappearance in my life after, so many years. And when we release the idea of expectations for people, like, we expect him to be a father. Well, what does that mean? I don't know, whatever you've seen on TV or read in books or heard about. He's a human being who is struggling, and we all are human beings who are working through our own challenges. So we just have to it's like I say it all the time, meet yourself where you're at, but also have the grace to meet others where they're at. There's no place that he's supposed to be on this not so linear learning journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with
Yeah.
grace,
Yeah. Yeah.
and without disturbing your peace. And, going back to Don Miguel Ruiz, we don't make assumptions about where people have been. Um, we allow ourselves to, look for our own, listen to our own path, journey, self. Yeah, don't
And
take it
you,
personal.
I know, right? Don't take it personal.
Take it personal. Make no assumptions.
Make no assumptions. I mean, it's amazing. I love this book, but it's so simply put together. And also just, but when you're in it, and it's just like, no way, this is personal. This is, but when you start looking at what we practice and what we talk about, right? Like, we choose our parents, and I see it now in a different light. When I remember not seeing it in a different light, this gift of, I never went dark. I always had this light in me. God was always with me. My angels were always with me. There's a purpose of me being here, even though in my darkest moments, I always felt alone because I didn't have him or my mother. And so not having those two roots of, I mean, like, how do you then plant yourself
And
in those?
become a mother. And, because the lessons were so limiting.
Mhm. Yeah. Or just
And
feel abandoned or alone, and not get angry, right? Because that's the path that you could take. And I remember the little lessons that he taught me, even though they were very rushed and harsh. And he still to this day says, I know you feel like I didn't say it the right way, right? How you say something to somebody, but he meant it. It's just in his ways. And there were some lessons in there, like, about that helped me become the person who I am today.
it
Like, you
all
always say, you have choices. So you choose to do something, there's consequences. And so at the end of the day, you always have to have your own choice of what your life is and what you want to be and how happy you want to be. Where is your freedom?
And you have choices. At the end of the day, it's not just consequences that come with choices. There's also rewards that come with choices, right? So, how are you looking at this? What is your vision? And, you're doing it right. It's slow and steady. It's without expectation. You're connecting with a human being who contributed to giving you life and also who contributed to allowing you to seek, or forcing, maybe not allowing, maybe it was forcing you to seek the things that fulfilled you, the theater, the connections that you made, even the spiritual journey, comes from a point of needing something, needing to connect, feeling disconnected. So, there's gratitude all the way around. I mean, I know we talk about it all the time. How can there be gratitude? Because, there's a sadness or there's a loss or a feeling of something, but, there's always the flip side of those.
Oh, yes. Yes. So that was the journey. I mean, there's more to talk, but I think that definitely reminded me of this book. We would love to talk about the steps. It could be a couple of episodes, 4 episodes of just breaking those down for everyone in our audience, because it's the tools that we want to give them, right? Like, how do you not take things personal? How do you not make assumptions? And it's okay to have a little bit of assumption. It's okay to feel like someone, but then how do you disconnect that energy? Because we're all energy, and
Yes.
say, oh, like you'd say, this, I'm going to put a mirror because that's their thing, not mine. And so then making the connection of the tools that you can have in your bag to know
Yeah.
when to separate it. When you feel that energy in your chakras. And I remember when I felt the energy in my body when I talked about him. And now I no longer feel that.
Heavy, heavy in the heart, heavy in the chest. Yes.
It's a
Yes.
great feeling. Not to feel that. You're like, oh, okay.
It's a part of the freedom, right? You've been in this like little jail cell of, feeling alone and abandoned and unloved and maybe unworthy or, whatever. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you felt, but like, those are all of the classic things that we feel: unvalued,
Right.
unworthy, unloved, unwanted. Um, and it's universal themes. It's universal themes. The experiences are, each of our individual experiences may differ, but the universal theme is one of, hey, what are you hiding behind? What's keeping
And
you small?
and guys, don't forget, again, we talk about this again. We will repeat ourselves always, but it's always that simple. The people that are around you, right? God, universe, source puts people around you who become and lift you. So
They also
that
give you a
positive.
choice. They give you a choice whether you want to be attracted to the people that lift you up or to be attracted to those that are pushing the down elevator button. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you get in the elevator and you can go up or down. That's autonomy. And the elevator goes down, you can get off or you can stay on and go back up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're in charge of your freedom, and how you free yourself from things really begins with awareness of how you're attaching to it, what kind of thoughts you're, creating or making, stories. Why are you telling yourself a story about that? I ask myself that all the time. I'm like, why am I telling myself a story about that? Does that really matter? How do I know what other people think? I have no idea. That would be making an assumption, right? I assume I
Mhm.
know what other people are thinking. I don't know what anyone's thinking. And I don't need everyone to like me, because there are going to be people who don't like me
Right.
because of what I represent or how I look or,
But in
whatever.
the bias that we create, I mean, we talk about this now more than ever because we are learning that we have created these bias in our minds.
Separation. We create
Yeah.
separation. It's unity. We're all one. We're all one.
And this comes in when you're a boss. This comes in when you at work. This all comes in when in your personal life. It's around everything. Again, it's about the people and how do you affect them. And so when you heal yourself, you are healing others, guys.
That's
So
right. The world heals, one little wound at a time. And, the goal is to return to love. Return to love. Amaryllis, you're so courageous. We appreciate you, talking about your story and your feelings. And thank you.
thank you, guys. Tune in to next time. We're going to start working on the 4 agreements to help everyone out, yourself, little tools here and there. It's a great book. Pick it up if you haven't. And thank you for joining us.
It's like $7.99 on Amazon. You can have it tomorrow. It's great. 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz. It's just a fabulous read. If you don't like the intro, skip to the first agreement and go back to the intro.
Pick it up at the library.
A third time you read it. Get it at the library.
Yeah, they have the digital and the audio, so it's perfect.
See that? There's a way. There's a way. I'm sure you could probably find something on YouTube as well. So the summary. So, all right, Amaryllis, it's been a pleasure as always. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.